Special effects is done in real time. That can be something as simple as rain, as wind, as smoke. And it can also be as complicated as hydraulics, as pneumatics, electronics. What you see on the screen in real time with the artist is what we do. It could be the explosions of the fraternity. It can be the rollover of a car. And the train sequence, we're heavily involved. Once you get a script like this, within the first couple of pages you realise it's a special effects film. And for all special effects guys, we want to do physical, practical effects.
And action!
And I think you get more scope by doing it practically. It's there, it's on film, it's on camera, and you've got it. Even if it may be something quite simple, but it's all part of making all the cogs work within the making of a film.
Timur possesses a unique gift in his ability to visually create worlds in a manner that we haven't seen before, and developed his own process of special effects and redefining how effects are used in the filmmaking process, basically blurring the distinction between production and post-production, since his effects are done in the course of production, and is able to create in a very real, grounded way effects and worlds that you haven't seen before.
Hey, I think that's my old train.
Still is.
Within the sequence of the L train in Chicago, we need to show Wes and Fox in part of their training. Part of the training is that Fox is super cool. She knows exactly what's going to happen. But Wes is learning his training. So the idea is to give obstacles that Fox goes under, which is a bridge that we drive up to within the L train. And she very coolly kind of lays back and just goes underneath it.
There was a problem because the train is too big to move. And we decided that we will move, not train, we'll move the bridge.
Obviously, the trains can't move. So they've shot plate shots out in Chicago, and we're shooting that within a green world. What we need to do is we need to do two elements. One, we need to give movement to the top of the train. And secondly, we need to give the impression that the train is moving. So we designed a set piece that actually travels over the top of the train to give the impression that the train is moving, but in fact it's stationary.
We have a train sequence in this film where it comes off the tracks whilst on a bridge on a huge gorge, like 1,000, 2,000 foot gorge.
We had a huge gimbling machine to revolve the huge train carriage. And we built it in Prague. It was maybe 100 feet. It was a huge machine, big.
And the train starts to fall. So the next thing that I've got to do today actually is be inside that train while it's turning 360 degrees. And it's going to spin it, spin it, spin it, and make it do that. And I'm going to be inside it and try and get from one end of it to the other with 20 people inside falling around.
This is probably the largest set piece that we've rotated and tilted at the same time. Normally you only need to rotate or you need to tilt a set. It's very unusual that you should want to do both. We do as many tests as we possibly can. What we've done today is we've shown that we can rotate this rig and we've got control of it, which is very important because what we don't want to do is we don't want to get the rig to be out of control of us.
I'm really enjoying it. When will I get to run through a train carriage that's spinning 360 degrees and have a wire on me so that I can take all the risks that I want to take without falling out and crashing my head, you know? So it's fantastic. It's great fun.
Oh God, I feel kind of good.
Timur has this great idea that these wax baths rejuvenate you. So you spend the day being a fraternity member, and then of an evening time you have a soak in those wax baths and it re-heals you.
This bath stimulates white blood cells and speed up the process. You can have bruises, cuts, breaks, heal in hours, not days.
You shitting me?
The ironic thing about special effects is that something like that could be more difficult than, in fact, the explosions that we did on the shop floor. Timur was quite specific about what he wanted. He didn't want the Hollywood flame explosion. He wanted very much the dust and debris that you get from an old building that's been sitting around for 100 years and then suddenly an explosion goes off. It's very difficult to blow up sets. Unfortunately, most sets have to be built and constructed to be strong, to be practical. Part of our job is to take away the strength of the set, but still allow it to stand up at the end of the day, and also trying to make it look visual. Within several of those locations, one of them were involved with stuntmen at the same time. And we had dropping debris, we had exploding looms, exploding racks. It was busy. And like all things, we're shooting them at 150 frames, which is roughly, you'll see it back 6 times slower than you would in normal. So what's really important is that the sequence is very quick. So that means that lots of explosions have to go off simultaneously. If we take too long to do it, our physical time on the screen, we only see 1 explosion, whereas we want to see 20 explosions. Part of the car chase sequence is a sequence where the Viper drives towards a police blockade and does a handbrake turn and manages to flip and roll over the police blockade. That's been shot out in Chicago. But what we're doing in Prague here is we've got the Viper car and we've built a rig for it to roll over with the artist in that's going to be shot against green screen. I feel is going to be one of those moments within the film that's going to be really memorable, because what's great is that we have our 2 main actors involved and we have the police officer, and we'll be able to see all 3 of them all in the same time interacting with one another as the real full-size car rolls over a police car and over the actor. The more that you can do in real time, the better for everybody. My thoughts on Wanted, I think it's going to be very interesting. Visually, it's going to be unique. I think that there's going to be some great sequences that haven't been done before. I think Timur's dream is that we get a chance to do sequences and things that haven't been done before and manipulate them so that they come across really well.